Hello, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. Welcome to February of 2024. And it's going to be a month in which your home life is going to be rocking it, including the chance for big changes around home property and real estate in this month of February. At the same time, you're doing some deep healing, not only at the level of your physical health, but at the level of things to do with the work you do in the world, coming into some turning point around work and health matters. So let's go into this for the deep dive. But before we start, welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back to all of my regulars. During this time together today, we're really looking at your rising sign as the most accurate, sun and moon secondarily. Sun can be about purpose and career, and moon can be mother and mother figures, and sun, father, father figures. Moon can be home and nest, but the rising sign is all about you. And by the way, if you are new to my channel, my name is Lori Lothian. I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac whole sign houses. I love the fixed stars and minor asteroids. If you like minor asteroids, and a lot of that detail is in all of my videos that I put out every month, about 20 to 30 videos every month, please hit the like button and subscribe and try me out. And that little bell for notifications means that you'll know when I put new content out, and you'll be able to go grab it and listen to it right away. All right. And underneath my description box is a more button, and you can find out about my classes that I'm teaching. Sky Readers coming up in March. You can find out about my Patreon community where you get early access ad-free. You can find out about my 2024 All Signs video bundles. It's more and more stuff all underneath the description box. Whew, okay, it's getting dark. I'm recording here in Vancouver, Canada for my Patreon community on January 24th. And you get this later in the public. Oh, guys, it's an interesting time. Lord Mars is a ruler of your sign as a Scorpio rising, sun and moon secondarily. But it's still your Lord, right? The planetary body is Mars that matters the most to you as a Scorpio. And Mars in the month of January did his heliacal rise in Capricorn, which is about to change your life in a new direction for the next 2 years of your life, starting in January through to January of 2024. And so I want you to go back and listen to that video, the Mars Rising video that's already out on my channel by the time you watch this video, because it's going to be one of the most important things that's happened to you since 1977. And so if you haven't been around since 1977 to 79, then this is a brand new story. If you have and you're an adult, you can go back and compare it. But the reason I'm talking about that is Mars is very busy this month, okay, doing some very extraordinary things for you. And we're going to be tapping into a lot of the Mars content. Also, during the month of February, there's a couple of general things I want you to know about. First of all, you have a general loosey-goosey sextile between Saturn and Jupiter. It never perfects, but it's good but not great. And it says good things are happening creatively, entrepreneurially, and romantically with your marriage partner, with your creative output and your audience and marketplace, with your children. Things like that are on the upswing for you in this month of February, especially the first 2 weeks. Second of all, there's a Pluto party going on, a stellium of people hanging out in Aquarius. Venus, Pluto, Mars, Mercury, and the Sun are all together, particularly between about February let me give you the dates for the Pluto party. The Pluto party is like kind of February 16th to the 19th. Everyone's hanging out. There's a big gathering in your fourth house of home, property, land, and real estate. What does this do for you? It means that you're having a lot going on at home in your private domestic life. It means that, this party with the sun still here in that window of February 16th and 19th, it's some like kind of intensity at home, in the home, from the home. It's very important that you understand that your home is not just your home at that time. You might be moving your home, constructing home, renovating home, changing your home. Okay, so there's a lot going on. We'll be getting into that in more detail soon. The other thing I want you to know about is that you're going to feel perhaps that there's something really important you need to do to change the work you do in this world. You're coming into a critical, destined turning point regarding livelihood and work. And a lot of you Scorpios are going to square away with that question mark. Are you my right work around February 19th? And we'll talk about in the details of the chronology why that's so. Let's go now into a breakdown of some of the planetary transits of Mercury, Venus, and Mars as they change signs in the month of February. For the first 5 days of February, or 4 days, depending on where you live, Mercury is moving through the sign of Capricorn, and this is your third house. And if you want to travel anytime in the first 5 days of February. Short distance travel is a big 2 thumbs up, as well as enjoying your social life and your social activities in the neighborhood and connecting with younger siblings. And that was true actually for the last 2 weeks of January as well. Then Lord Mars moves into your fourth house, and this is really important time from February 23rd to March the 29th for buying and selling of property, land, and real estate, negotiating deals and contracts around rentals and rental properties, for having a lot of communication in your home, maybe writing, thinking, and ideating in your home. Maybe negotiating deals in and from your home, especially with Lord Jupiter in your seventh house at the same time. So there's a lot going on with contracts, legal matters, and the home, perhaps for many of you between February 23rd and February 5th and February 5th to the February 23rd timeframe. Yeah, February 5th to February 23rd. Now, February 23rd to March the 9th, Mercury moves into your creative house, your romantic house. This is your fifth house. You could be having a lot of creative ideas coming to you, your entrepreneurial business taking off with commerce and marketing doing really well, a lot of speaking or voicing or writing or thinking about your creative projects on February 23rd to March the 9th. And with Mercury in your fifth house, you may be doing a lot of communication with a child or a lot of communication with a romantic love partner. Maybe you guys are emailing, phoning, or texting very regularly. So keep that in mind. That's February 23rd through to March the 9th. Now, Venus is moving into Capricorn this month. She'll be, she is in Capricorn. She started her Capricorn journey around January the 23rd, and until February 15th, she's still in Capricorn. And that's that third house. Now, this is meaning that in February, for example, January 23rd to February 15th, but the first 2 weeks of February is really good for travel. This is like leisure travel, fun travel, short distance trips for romance, for fun, for pleasure. It also could increase your pleasure in the local neighborhood, bars and restaurants and pubs, and fun things in the small fishbowl in which you swim. It's also good for writing projects taking off, especially because you can be really creative here. And with Venus in this part of your sky through to February 15th, and having also a kind of a sense that you could, let's put it this way, I'd say between the first 5 days of February, you still have Mercury and Venus in your Capricorn third house. And that can indicate it's a really wonderful time for booking a trip, taking a trip, or getting very creative and very successfully creative in the online social media platforms that you're a part of. So the first 5 days of February, if you do social media platforms, writing projects, website stuff, Mercury and Venus together in Capricorn in your third house, where Mars has risen and is visible, is extremely positive. Venus will move into your, on February 16th, okay? Venus will move into your fourth house of home, property, and real estate, where she'll be until March the 12th. Wow. Now, if you want to sell a house, you're going to have Mercury there too. And you can definitely sell a house. But if you want to buy a house, you can definitely buy a house. So buying and selling of a house, getting a mortgage, getting a refinance, getting the money you need to do these things is a double down yes. So yes for you on buying a house, selling a house, remortgaging a house, refinancing a property. Now with Mars down here as well, Mars is going to be also opening up some doors around moving your home, changing your home, or renovating your home. With Venus in the fourth house, we'll get to the time frames here on the Mars story. With Venus in your fourth house from February 16th to March the 12th, it's an ideal time for redesigning, redecorating, and painting and adding new furniture and making your house more beautiful, but having more fun, play, joy, and pleasure in your home as well. Mars is going to enter that part of your sky after he leaves Capricorn on February 13th, and he's going to move on the 13th through to March 23rd, February the 13th to March 23rd. He's going to move into that fourth house. And that's classically either traveling extensively far from home, some difficulty, agreements, and arguments in your home with someone you're living with, but also potentially moving or changing your home. And that is February 13th to March the 23rd. Now, The Pluto party on the 16th and the 19th is again the highlight of all things to do with your home. I don't know what you're doing at your home, if you're like renovating, constructing, selling, buying. Your career can be very successful because of things you're doing in and from your home, because the sun is down here in that window of time, ruling the 10th house of your career. So it's a huge party in the fourth house. Your domestic private life is rocking February 16th to the 19th. And again, some of it can be commercial success to do with property sale, purchase, rent, and rental agreements as well. You'll excuse me for a minute while I turn the heat down in my office. Yes, it's hot in here now. Cannot get the right temperature while I'm recording. Sorry about that, guys. And I'm recording and it's dark outside, so this is all a ring light, which is blinding me. Okay, so continuing on. Sorry if it's a little grainy. I can't fix that here on a ring light at night, but I'm going to probably upgrade to a better camera in the next month's videos. Let's go into a chronological breakdown for you Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising folk of what's going on in the month of February. And let's start with February 7th to the 8th, when Venus will bring happy money and love surprises by flowing to Uranus. This is Venus in your third house. Uranus is flowing to Uranus in your significant other house. Well, it's so many ways it could play out. A happy travel opportunity with your significant other popping up February 7th and 8th. A connection to a younger sibling that brings you some connection to legal agreements or contracts. Legal agreements and contracts revolving around website writing projects. Something you're doing in the social media world taking off and going viral and hitting a big boom with your audience and marketplace. All February 7th to the 8th. Then on the 8th to the 9th, Mars, the Lord of your sign, flows to Neptune. Well, Mars is in Capricorn. Neptune is in your fifth house of romance, but also the house of entrepreneurship, also creative projects, especially with Mars in Capricorn, things you're doing that you're passionate about, that you're driven and ambitious and willful on, to do with social media, websites, and even the local neighborhood can bloom out with some kind of bit of luck, especially if you're using any social media platforms that are videography platforms. On the 8th and 9th, like going viral, perhaps, especially with the Venus trine Uranus at the same time. Maybe also your romantic life is picking up here around the 8th and 9th, as you could open up an opportunity for a romantic getaway and some exciting fun and happy love surprises with the one you're with. And if you're single, you might meet somebody in an online dating or local neighborhood environment February 8th and 9th, and that could be a dreamy romantic love story that surprises the heck out of you. I would advise you to go on a date during the 8th and 9th. Anywhere from the 7th to the 9th, a dating opportunity would look good on you for single Scorpios. And February 10th, Mercury squares Jupiter. This can look a little bit like a conflict regarding legal agreements, contracts, negotiations, deals, mediation, selling and marketing, home, property, land, and real estate, and buyer and seller disagreements. It looks like a potential negotiation intensity going on at this time, or some kind of legal agreement around a property or home event or home and real estate coming into some tension on February 10th. And then on February the 13th, Venus will flow to Neptune, just like Mars did in February 8th and 9th. This time it's Venus's job. And now Venus is doing that from your third house of the online world, social media, websites, local neighborhood, pubs and restaurants, daily environment. Venus also is in the house of younger sibling, flowing to Neptune in the house of your creative projects, but also fertility and pregnancy and children. And therefore, Venus is a fertility goddess, and you may get pregnant. Well, you or your partner could conceive a child, get pregnant on February 13th. That's Valentine's Day, especially if it's a travel-related fertility moment, but any kind of fertility moment is opening up Valentine's Day for Scorpios to conceive a child. On February 13th to the 15th, there is a Mars conjunct Pluto, divinely intense willpower. Personal will and divine will are merged. You're intense, you're combatively successful, you're all dominating, and you're getting you're getting your way here. Well, the 13th to the 15th Pluto Mars conjunction is happening in your fourth house of home and land and domestic life and property and private life. because you're having all of this intensity down here, and because Mercury rules your eighth house of mortgages, finances, and inheritances, I'm going to say a few things. One, solar figures. Between, the 16th and the 19th, you could be receiving a legacy wealth from a father, grandfather figure. Could happen. Second of all, you may find that you are able to secure the proper mortgage or the proper financing for something that really matters to you to do with your home life and property life. And Mars also rules the house of pets, and there may be something going on here, or rentals with pets and rentals with great intensity, February 13th to the 14th. Now, if you have a childhood pet or a pet you had when you were younger and it's now getting quite old, this pet may be passing possibly 13th to the 15th of February. And you would have news of a pet's passing, for example. No, life is not always about everything rainbows and unicorns. You got to count real life things happen. Pets pass, right? It's not be negative. Someone said that one time. February 19th, the healing is here of the Chiron North Node conjunction. If you felt wounded since 2019 in work and livelihood matters, especially, then you're now coming to a turning point healing where something maybe gets really amplified around, am I, doing work that is meaningful? Is this my right work? Am I in the right place? And as this thing is happening, Mars participates from the fourth house as well. So it's kind of like going back to your family of origin, childhood expectations for how you should show up in the world, what your right work path is, what your dad particularly thought of your work path. And you're trying to heal that chironic wound around your livelihood and work around February the 19th. It could play out as a bit of a challenging moment, but it may just be a very lovely feeling of turning a corner here. And then on February 20th to the 23rd, Venus and the Mars co-join in a tight conjunction in your fourth house. Good for sex, romance, love, passion in the home, but it's also a push and pull between separating and uniting, love and hate. So there's intensity in the home. Pluto, big energies, excavation, intimacy, going under the surface. Now, it's your childhood and your family of origin, and maybe there's something to do with your family of origin and your childhood that you're deeply uncovering, that you're revealing, that you're healing going on during this window of February 20th to the 23rd as the cosmic lovers unite in your fourth house. But on a very practical note, it's good for like really hot romance in your home. Okay. On February 26th to the 28th, Mars squares Jupiter, as did, remember, February 10th, Mercury squared Jupiter. So here we go again. Jupiter moving direct in your seventh house is good for marriages, commitments, moving in together. This is an expansion of your existing relationship that opened up last year in May and completes at the end of this May. And if you're not with someone, it can bring a new relationship that's great prosperity and bounty and goodness to you, especially if you're a female. So that's Jupiter in your seventh house, but then Mars squares from the fourth house. And this could be conflict legally regarding contracts and agreements and property. This can be having to fight for something that you want to do with, things you want to achieve in the bottom of your sky from your base at home, and you're squaring away with your marriage partner who may not agree, or your significant relationship partner who may have a different agenda. Like you want to move and sell the home and they don't, for example. That's something as simple as that. Or you get an offer in your home and it's probably good enough, and yet there's a battle over this price point or something like that. Or you want to buy a home and you're like in the gritty negotiations, both February 10th and February 26th, 28th, around getting and commanding what it is you really want. So there's that tension here. And then finally, on February the 28th, Mercury will move into the heart of the sun with Saturn, all three of them in a triple conjunction at 9 degrees of Pisces in your house of children, conception, romance, sexuality, creativity, entrepreneurship, what brings you joy. This is a powerful reset button. Saturn is saying, find reliable, lasting a sense of a joyful accomplishment. Do things that bring you joy in the long run. Be serious and sober-minded about conception, childhood, and pregnancy. Take your creative projects seriously. Create legacy projects that last the rest of your life, that you leave behind something that people care about. Conceive serial projects that go the distances, like a trilogy of books, not just one. Mercury Sun conjunct, or, in a cazimi, triple cazimi in your fifth house is really rare. You could conceive a creative project or child under this. Karmic pregnancy could happen here. And it's all sextile the god of fertility, Jupiter. So fertility around creative projects as well. And any creative projects that happen, on February 28th, add 6 weeks because it's the Cazimi unfolds over time, is like, okay, you're really opening up some serious success with the audience marketplace, clients and customers regarding entrepreneurship, creative projects, and creative ideas. And you could download something here. So please take my Mercury Cazimi workshop. It's a freebie. It's in the description link below. So you can deep dive into that February 28th Cazimi and learn how to harness it rather than just be a passive observer of it, because it looks like it could really pop your artistic, creative life, your performing life. If you're an actor, singer, songwriter, musician, painter, wow, good for you. If you want to have a child, this is an interesting Cazimi. It may open up a very karmic love story with the reincarnation, honestly, of some family member back again, grandpa, grandma, somebody coming back through the system. Whether you're the man or the woman in the story, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Your partner or you could have this deep Cazimi around fertility and pregnancy. And lastly, Mercury is a game of chance, guys. The fifth house is the money luck house. A Cazimi with Saturn, sextiling Jupiter. It wouldn't be a bad day to buy a lottery ticket on February the 28th, okay? Just gonna say, you never know. It would be very auspicious, baked in luck here. All right, so thank you for listening, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I hope that was useful to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit my bell for notifications. I look forward to getting to know you if you're a new subscriber in my live premieres where we talk all about the astrology as we watch the video together, and I take your questions. So if you'd like to get a little more intimate with me off of this platform, you might want to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and we can get to know each other a bit other than broadcast formula, a bit in real dialogue. Okay. Thanks a lot, Scorpio. Have a wonderful February.